Hi, I'm Taylor and welcome to episode 1 of How to with Tay. Today we're going to walk you through the process of painting upholstery. That's right, you can paint your fabric. So we're going to show you the tools that you need and the steps that you need to take in order to paint that old armchair, that old sofa, and give it a brand new life. Step is to identify the products that you'll need to complete this refresh. At the top of the list and the most important is probably the textile medium. Without this, when you paint the fabric, it will not bounce back. It will be really crusty. So this is what you will mix with your paint. The 2-ounce bottle is the only thing you'll find in the craft stores. So I ordered the 8-ounce bottles off Amazon. Next, and obviously you'll need your paint. We selected a matte chalked paint in country gray, but you can choose an acrylic paint and it won't have much difference. You also need a container to mix your paint and your textile medium. You will need 3 brushes preferably. I have a 1-inch, a 1.5, and a 2-inch. These will just really help get into the cracks and the crevices and give you that detail that you need when you paint this project. The next thing you'll need is painter's tape. This will protect your legs from the paint and really give you a crisp finish. You'll also need a tarp. This is what you'll lay on the floor, on the ground, underneath your chair. Now, whether you're inside or outside, this is still really important. It'll protect your floor, your hardwood, your paving, your concrete from paint, because not all paint will come out. And lastly, most importantly, you will need your chair or your sofa, whatever you plan to refresh. Step 2 is about chair prep. So you'll put the painter's tape at every point where the fabric touches the leg. Those are the most important. And you'll also lift the cushion out and clean that out, because when we paint the back, this cushion will not be in here. So you want to make sure that all your crumbs and all your change are out of the chair. Also want to make sure that you've wiped down the chair, gotten all of, food crust, anything that's gonna mess up the paint job, anything that's sticking off of the chair, off of the fabric. Make sure that it's all smooth. So anything that you can see that's gonna hinder that process, you just want to wipe it off. Step 3 involves mixing the textile medium and the paint. So this 30 ounces is a quart. That is a quart of paint, and I recommend getting it in those increments. Don't buy a gallon. It'll be harder to do the math. So these need to be mixed in a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts paint to 1 part textile medium. What that really means is that you only need half as much textile. So I have a half quart, 15 ounces of paint, and 8 ounces roughly of textile medium, 1 bottle, and I'm going to mix those for my first batch of paint. Now that I have my paint all mixed, we're going to go to step 4, which is paint. We're going to paint the chair. So like I said, we're going to remove the cushion and we're going to start with the inside of the chair first, painting the back part, then the arms. So as you paint, you want to make sure that you paint with the grain of the fabric. And take notice of whether it's vertical pattern or horizontal pattern, and really you want to stick with that fabric pattern. That'll give you a nice clean stroke and it'll give you a really clean finish. Almost done with the back. Now hopefully when it dries you won't need another coat, but don't be skimpy with the paint. If you put enough on your brush the first go around, you won't have to do a second coat. So that's what we're doing. We're getting a good amount of paint. See that? For the first coat. So we have painted the inside of the chair. We painted the back and the arms. And this is after 2 coats. Now don't be worried if we spill paint on the inside. That does not matter. The cushion will live there and no one will ever see it. So doing really good on paint. We have a good amount left, maybe even enough to finish the entire chair with just a half a quart, but we'll see. What's special about this chair is that it has decorative studs. What's really interesting to note, there's fabric in between there, so it's almost impossible to paint around them, so you'll have to paint over them if you have decorative studs. And at the end of the video I'll show you what you'll need. So we have now painted the outer side of the chair. This is 1 coat. We'll have to go back over it in the second coat. We painted the front with one coat. We may have to touch up in a couple of spaces, but one coat pretty much did it for that. Remember when you set your cushion aside, we went and picked that up, scooted the chair over on the tarp to make room, and painted the top and all of the sides. So once this dries, we'll flip it over. So we put the second coat on the cushion. We'll have to go back when that dries to put a second coat on the arm.
It's done.
And I've got my helper with me doing the back. Say hi.
Hi.
So for the back, there's no textile medium added to the paint. It's just chalk paint because it's the back and it doesn't matter if it bounces back or not. She was helping me paint. So we finished painting the back, touched up the arms, and did a second coat on the cushion and did a seat test. It bounces back. It's not crunchy. So now I'm going to show you guys how to take the paint off these decorative studs and what you'll need in order to do that. To remove the paint from the decorative studs, you'll need two things. You'll need cotton swabs or Q-tips, and then you'll need some nail polish remover, but it has to be 100% acetone. What you'll do is that you'll take one Q-tip and then you'll dip it in the acetone, and then we'll come over to these studs. See, I've started one and just maybe a little tedious, but to get that brass finish back, just rub that on there. See, and it's coming off on this one too. You just rub that around. So after 10 minutes, this is the progress I've made. So maybe after spending a good hour, we'll be able to finish the front. But yes, it's tedious, but if you want that brass finish or the finish of those studs back, you have to put a little work into it.